Hello friends, welcome to the complete review of the Oxygen OS for the OnePlus One. In this video, I'll be making a complete analysis of the new Oxygen OS. I'll mainly concentrate on showing you the stability and the performance of the OS rather than just showing you the settings and the features of the Lollipop. So let's get started and see whether the Oxygen OS is really worth all the wait we have waited for. So to begin with, the Oxygen OS is a pure stock OS with highly optimized for OnePlus One hardware. The difference between the stock OS or the CM12 nightlies to the Oxygen OS is Oxygen OS uses proprietary drivers which will result in lower power consumption for all the hardware used in OnePlus One. So to begin with, I'm using the Nova launcher, which is very beautiful for the Lollipop. So just to show you, this is a Lollipop and it's an Oxygen OS. As you can see the version number, it's Oxygen OS version 1.0, and I will not be showing you the Lollipop animation which all the reviewers will be showing. I just don't want to waste time on it. So let's get started and see. First thing, we'll concentrate on the features. So what all the features does the Oxygen OS provide other than the features provided from the stock Lollipop? So the first feature is, if you just pull down the notification panel, you can see these 4 box icons which will allow you to change the icons and rearrange them according to your needs. As you can see, I can change the icons and it automatically rearranges itself. This is pretty nice, and it is much better than even the CM12 Cyanogen mod version, in which you need to go to settings and then change the and then you need to rearrange these icons. So in this Oxygen version, you can just directly change or rearrange the icons right in the notification panel without going to any settings and then changing there and then seeing the changes in the actual notification panel. So this is quite a new feature which will be very useful. So, and the second set of features is there's some gestures. The original gestures that was present in CM11S is present in Oxygen OS. That is double tap to wake, open the camera when you draw the O symbol, and the flashlight and the music controls. But as far as my experience, I have been using Oxygen OS from past 1 day now, and based on the performance of these gestures, double tap to wake gesture works perfectly fine without any lag or delay. But the open camera is not working all the time. The moment you draw the O, just to show you, the moment you draw the O symbol, the screen switches on, but it doesn't initiate the camera application. So that may be an issue in the Oxygen OS. And the flashlight was working fine without any delay, but the music controls again was having a delay. As I recently changed from CM11S, I can clearly make out the difference between the gesture recognition. The music control, especially the pass feature, is not able to recognize very well as good as in CM11S. So this is the feature that has been added to the Oxygen OS. So other than that, more or less, the Oxygen OS will remain as a stock OS, and not much feature is provided. So basically, if you are looking for more feature rich operating system, maybe you have to wait for CM12S to arrive. So basically, if you want to know what exactly is the difference between Oxygen OS and the CM12S OS, all I can tell you is, if you require a stable pure stock experience with buttery smooth, go for Oxygen OS. If you want a feature rich ROM and also stable, then go for CM12S. That is, you need to wait for CM12S. As you can see, talking about the performance of the Oxygen OS, I can clearly tell you it's buttery smooth. Not even buttery smooth, it is even smoother than what we all call as buttery smooth. I have never experienced such a smoothness in my OnePlus One, even on CM11S. I can clearly feel that the Oxygen OS has been clearly optimized for the OnePlus One. The difference between using the CM12 nightlies and for the Oxygen OS, the CM12 Nightly's uses only the basic drivers for all the hardware, like Wi-Fi chips, the processors. But with Oxygen OS, they will use the proprietary drivers which is specifically designed for that particular hardware, which will result in lower power consumption of every device present in the OnePlus One, every hardware modules present in the OnePlus One. So that will result in much stable and also much lesser power consumption. Talking about the battery, as far as I have seen now, it is showing pretty good battery performance. I do the battery analysis based on two factors. One is I have installed an app called Temperature Guard. So with the Temperature Guard, I feel that I can do much better analysis of the ROM stability. If the ROM is running very smoothly without any memory leaks or without any heavy load on the processor, the temperature remains lower. So CM11S was running somewhere around 31 to 35 during the ideal usage. So this is pretty stable, but I guess it is at least 1 or 2 degree higher than the ideal stage of the CM11S, or maybe this is a lollipop and it has much different scenario. So I have to just wait for the CM12S to arrive to see if even that has the same temperature. And what else? So going back to the settings, just to show you the Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, data usage and more. So these are all the same stock lollipop settings, and there have not been any changes. The home buttons is the only extra feature that has been added, as OnePlus One has both on-screen buttons and off-screen buttons. So you can enable on-screen buttons anytime to use the on-screen button, and gestures as I already have completed. And coming to the display, you have the adaptive display which is already present. I don't want to discuss much about the lollipop feature here. I want to concentrate on the Oxygen OS. So ambient display, let me talk about the ambient display. So you have an option of ambient display. So as it says here, it wakes up the screen when device is picked up or notification arrives, but in reality it only wakes up the screen only when the notification arrives. It doesn't wake up the screen when you pick up the device. I guess this is not present even in the CM12 Nightly's, but at least I hope it is present in CM12S, which we will be getting it very soon. And just to talk about some of the features which the OnePlus One have removed from the stock OS, or maybe that's the standard thing. If you go into securities and if you go to the screen lock, let me just put a pattern for it to just to show you. I've created a pattern. Now if I go into the smart lock, and as you can see, there's only trusted device and trusted places. There is no trusted faces, which I have already used it in the CM12 Nightly's. It is one of the useful feature, as Lollipop has better camera and facial recognition, in which it instantly unlocks your device as soon as it sees your face. So that's not present in this Oxygen OS. I guess they have removed it. The screen pinning is present, so which is very useful in Lollipop. So, and coming back to developer options, so there is no advanced options like setting the processor frequency, which was present in CM11S, that is downgrading this maximum CPU frequency and controlling the governors and the kernels. So that's not present. So it's basically a stock OS, nothing much to it. But one thing I can be very happy of Oxygen OS is it's very stable. There is no lag at all. In fact, this is the completely smoothest ROM I've ever experienced on my OnePlus One. It's buttery smooth. All the notifications and all the scrollings and all the movements are very smooth. And one thing what I have observed from this Oxygen OS is they have not skipped a single animation here. The volume rocker will pop up as an animation scrolling down, and it scrolls up through an animation. So every single animation is present here without skipping a single animation. So what I feel is Oxygen OS, OnePlus One has done a pretty good job in developing this Oxygen OS. At least I feel this is an initial stage of the OS development, as there is not much feature present in this. And talking about the camera, I have installed the Camera Next, that is the Cyanogen mod version, of the camera. And in this camera, as you can see, there is no raw capture. this is not enabled on the Oxygen OS. I guess because of the drivers present in the Oxygen OS which will not enable the raw capture, but all the other features are present. That is the face detection and the viewfinder, which is the new Camera Next version that was released in the last recent KitKat version. So in the Camera Next you won't be able to get the raw capture. So raw capture is not enabled in the Oxygen OS. And also talking about the video, you have you have maximum resolution of only HD 1080p. You do not get 4K recording on the Oxygen OS. So this is pretty bad. By knowing the camera capabilities of the OnePlus One and not enabling the 4K recording, I guess OnePlus One should have considered the 4K recording as one of the main features. So that's not present, and this thing doesn't work. That is the power shutter. This thing doesn't work. When you click the power button in the CM11s, the camera takes the picture, but in this the screen shuts off. So that's not enabled, as this is not designed for the Oxygen OS, and this application is designed for the CM12s and 11s. So, and burst mode, quality, and these are the usual things that are present. And also, just to tell you one more thing, there is no clear image options in the Camera Next option when you install it on the Oxygen OS. So we have missed quite a few features in the Oxygen OS, but at least I can say the OS is very stable and it's pretty usable for day-to-day usage without any issues. I guess OnePlus One will consider adding more features as and when they keep adding more features to the Oxygen OS, and finally eventually catch up with the features level of the CM12s. So I'm waiting for the CM12s to arrive, as I believe that will have more features in addition to their experience of adding stability to the OS also. So I feel so my final decision is, if you want a complete stable and very very smooth OS without any much features, you can install Oxygen OS. Maybe it's better to have just one experience of using a Lollipop with Oxygen OS. So I can definitely tell you this is very very better than the CM12 Nightlies. Even though CM12 Nightlies is Lollipop, that doesn't have any proprietary drivers which will make it run very smoother at lower temperatures and with much better battery performance. So with this, since the OnePlus One have used all the proprietary drivers for particular hardware modules in the OnePlus One, this will be much better, smoother, and less it will be more power efficient. So this doesn't have the audio effects, that is the equalizer. This only has the normal equalizer that's present in the stock Android, which you can use it. So this doesn't come with the max audio or the Swift key that's present in CM12s. So talking about the stability of the ROM again, the ROM is pretty quite stable, and I guess you all will enjoy this ROM. So let's just hope. And talking about the stock camera again, the stock camera that comes with the Oxygen OS is the Google camera. As you have already know the features of the Google camera, it has the lens blur and the panorama, photosphere, and the video. But I wished at least Oxygen OS had supported the Camera 2 API. Having known the capabilities of the OnePlus One camera, the Camera 2 API would have made the best features for the Oxygen OS if they had implemented. But I'm still waiting, as I feel this is still an initial version of the Oxygen OS, and they come up with more features as and when they keep giving out OTAs. So I wish the next set of Oxygen OS will have support for the Camera 2 API, which will make it one of the best features of the OnePlus One. So I hope I've covered most of the things with the Oxygen OS. Yeah, and talking about some of the other things like multi-user, yes, Oxygen OS have enabled the multi-user support. So you can add multiple users. As you can see here, I have added multiple users like guest users. So one thing what I have observed is you cannot enable the on-screen navigation buttons in other users other than the main admin user. So that is one of the problem which I faced, and I hope it will be rectified soon with the upcoming OTAs of the Oxygen OS. uh, yeah, as you can see here, with the guest user, I don't want to go to the guest user now, as that will stop the screen recording. So in the guest user, you do not have an option to enable the on-screen buttons, which these problems were solved in CM12 Nightlies. I hope the Oxygen OS team will also consider this and implement this feature in their upcoming release. So you can create multiple users and you can use it. So multiple users have some limitations, wherein you cannot enable on-screen buttons and install APK applications on other users. So those are the disadvantages. So other than that, the ROM is pretty stable, and the ROM comes with Hangouts as a default messaging application. So it doesn't have any messaging application. Hangout is the default messaging application. So I have installed the Messenger application and I have made it as that is the official Google Messenger application for using the SMS feature. I think that is pretty stable. And the gallery, I guess the gallery supported by the Oxygen OS is again the stock gallery, nothing much. I have installed QuickPick. I feel QuickPick application is much better gallery application. Again, you may install your own application. And talking about the routing of this Oxygen OS, I was not able to root the Oxygen OS even though I have TWRP recovery installed on my phone. As you can see, I have super user. Once I click that, it shows there is no SU binary installed and super user cannot install it. This is a problem. I tried flashing the super user again using the TWRP recovery, but it shows the same message. Even though I have the updated recovery files, I'm trying to root again and again, but even I have used both TWRP inbuilt recovery and also I have flashed the recovery files, but still when I boot into the OS and if I click super user, it's showing the same thing. There is no SU binary installed. So I need to figure out any other options to root this device, as I very neatly use Titanium backup for all my backups. So I'm just waiting to root this device. Right now I do not have the root features on Oxygen OS. I guess there are some people who have already figured out how to root Oxygen OS. So, and one more feature based on which I decide the stability of the any OS is I use wake lock detector, which I am not able to use now as I do not have the root features enabled. So talking about as you can see, I have been denied the features of the root access. So with this I was able to make a complete analysis of the stability of the ROM, as I can see how many times the CPU was waking up and which applications were utilizing the CPU. I could have seen how much percentage of the CPU is waked up by the OS, so I can know how stable the OS is. So based on the wake lock detector and the temperature of the device, I was able to decide how pretty stable the OS is. So talking about the battery again, yeah. So as yesterday night I made a complete full 100% charge, and I've been using from approximately morning around 8 a.m. and as you can see I still have 7 hours left. So this 7 hours is an approximate calculation done by the OS based on my last 1 or 2 hours of usage. So this may not be exactly 7 hours, it depends on my usage, but as far as I am seeing, it is quite good. It is giving me quite good battery performance. As you can see, I have been using the screen from 1 hour 39 minutes. So it's going good. So there's been no issues with the battery. Let me just wait till the completely battery gets drained out. Maybe I can make a good battery review when it reaches 5%. I can analyze all the usages and I can tell you is this a very good battery efficient ROM. But as far as I can see now, and based on my usage from the morning after it's completely charged to 100%, it is running pretty strong. So even the ideal battery usage is pretty stable, and it's not depleting very fast. So that's one of the good signs that Oxygen OS has been completely optimized for the OnePlus One. and the Bluetooth option, just to see if there are any extra options that has been added to the Oxygen OS. Display sound settings. In the sound settings, again it is the same default stock features, nothing changed here. Battery, apps, location remains the same. Security, as I already talked about the security, there is no facial recognition. Accounts, I guess, which you know about it. So that's it, guys. So this is the review of the Oxygen OS. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if I have missed something, I'll keep updating it, maybe below, by written text, or if you can just share with me your opinions in the comments, so that I can keep you posted on the other options in the OnePlus One. So I'll make this, I'll use this for another one day, and I'll give you complete battery analysis whether Oxygen OS is very good battery friendly ROM or not. So I hope you have enjoyed. Please comment about it. I want to know what your opinion is about the OS, and I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you, guys.